Hey everyone, Jason here, digital marketing consultant, and in this email marketing guide, you're going to learn how to build a fully functioning and automated email marketing machine to grow your email list in record time. So timestamps below, along with some other helpful videos that take a deeper dive into some of what we'll be talking about here. Now, when it comes to our growth framework, here are the three things we're going to focus on. Collecting emails, obviously you can't grow an email list without emails, then what to do once you have those emails with a rapport building sequence, and then how to drop them into a broadcast sequence. So once they've gone through the first 5 to 7 emails, they get dropped into your general list. We will be using MailerLite to go through this particular funnel. You can check out an affiliate link in the description. If you do decide to upgrade your plan, we receive a commission as a way to support this channel. So here's a complete breakdown of what you need to set up in order to create an automated system for, of course, growing your email list. We're going to start things off with a landing page. We'll offer a lead magnet on that landing page in order to actually attract the emails in the first place. And then we will set up some automations to automatically send out 5 to 7 emails. And then we'll drop them into our broadcast list where you'll send ongoing content. And of course, you can every once in a while offer some additional promotions, whether that's your product, service, or some affiliate links. So again, timestamps below because this is a long one. We're going A to Z and almost everything in between. And of course, the way that this list growth machine works is using a lead magnet. Now, all a lead magnet is something of value you offer in exchange for contact information, because after all, no one is going to just give you their name and email for the heck of it, right? Just say, hey, give me your name and email and I'll send you some cool stuff. Not going to work out too great. So we want something that is tangible and actionable for our new email subscribers to give them a reason to actually enter their name and email. And while there are a lot of different types of lead magnets that you can create, I'll actually link up in the cards and the description to a video that goes through all different combinations of lead magnets in case one of these next 3 doesn't seem to be a good fit for your list growth and your business. Although these are the 3 I recommend starting with, mostly because they provide the most amount of value with the least amount of time for you to actually create. So the very first one here is going to be just starting the work for your new email subscribers in the form of a fill-in-the-blank template or worksheet. Although you want to call it a template because template works a little better when it comes to getting opt-ins than worksheet, because no one actually wants to do work. And so the reason that your landing page is going to work is because you're offering this template in exchange for that contact information. And after all, once you have that contact information, then all of the email automations and sales process can actually begin. And another way to think of your lead magnet is a bridge in between the emails that you want to send and the landing page that's necessary in order to collect that contact information. Now, when it comes to a template, it doesn't have to be something super fancy. It just has to be valuable to whoever you're trying to attract to join your email list. And so the real power of a template is someone is able to copy your process to achieve something that you have achieved or overcome a roadblock that they're dealing with. So practically, as an example here, one of our lead magnets is the Tag Manager playbook. So Google Tag Manager is something that a lot of marketers should put on their website. It helps with all of the tracking codes and staying organized. And as you can imagine, there are a lot of intricate parts in there. So what we did is we created a simple 7-page document that someone can go through. They can store all of their codes there, and they can follow our process for implementing their conversion and remarketing tracking. And the key here is you want to make a template that is going to save your new email subscribers time and headache. Now, another example here is, let's say we were in the video editing niche or video creative niche. Well, we could provide Adobe Premiere files or some sort of Photoshop files that have some of the things that we like to use in our own projects. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a PDF. It could be a different type of file as well. The point is you're starting the work or you're guiding someone through a process to make it an absolute breeze. Again, links in the cards in the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive on all of these. Now, the second type I really like when it comes to services. So if you have some sort of service, offering an audit as a lead magnet is a great way to magnify the mess. And again, this goes in the exact same place as the template that we talked about earlier. So you can see here, the diagram isn't really changing that much. The structure is the same. All we're doing is changing out what lead magnet we're offering. And you can have multiple lead magnets to just see which one works the best for growing your email list. Now, when it comes to an audit, the goal of it is to show someone the problems that are in front of them and then begin to help them fix the problems, right? So we don't just want a couple pages where they answer a couple questions, or they go look in, let's say, their ads accounts, or they evaluate their diet, and then they go, oh my gosh, all these things I need to fix. And then you say, buy my product to fix all of them, right? Nobody's going to like that, and you're going to get a lot of unsubscribes. So you do want to actually start helping people solve the problems that you've pointed out. And with your audit, you also want to show the potential dangers of not taking action on starting to fix things. So as an example, we used to have a lead magnet that was an audit that would help people go through their Google Analytics accounts and see all the settings that were wrong, and then see some areas that they could improve. Now, obviously, there's a lot that we could have talked about in here, but we focused on things that people could fix on their own without having to jump into their website data layer or completely redo their implementation, right? And so at the end, we had a call to action to book a strategy call with us where we would be able to talk about our product or our service. And that, in this particular instance, it was our Analytics Foundation service. Now, a much simpler example would be some sort of quiz. You could make a quiz that someone could go through, and they could answer yes or no, and then at the end, they could get a score to know how well along the path they are to what they want, or how far behind they are on the path that they're trying to achieve. Again, link in the cards in the description to a video that takes a much deeper dive on examples. Now, this next one can be the most powerful, but it also takes the longest to create. If you already have an idea of what your lead magnet should be, you can go ahead and skip ahead to the next section. With a results-oriented video, it goes in the exact same place in between the landing page and the emails. We come back to the diagram. You see it's in the same place. We're not changing too much here. And with this video, what you want to do is spend 10 to 15 minutes just delivering some value, essentially taking something that you've learned from your own personal experience, some golden nuggets of information, and then sharing it in a video. And then the last 5 to 10 minutes, you can pitch your product or service. Now, if you don't already have a product or service to pitch and you're just trying to grow your email list right now, or you're focused on affiliate marketing, then this is not a good solution to start with. But I just wanted to include this if you are trying to get people on to book a strategy call with you, or you have some sort of online course. Those two are great things to offer at the end of a super specific training like this. And what makes it valuable is it's based on your experience and things that you have learned, because we don't want it to be information that they could have just read on a blog post or heard on a podcast someplace. So hopefully you have an idea of what your lead magnet should be. Now let's go ahead and talk about your landing page. So this is going to be the front of your automated email machine. Now we had to talk about the lead magnet first, because without a lead magnet, there's no point in having a landing page, and your list is not going to grow. So the landing page is simply where we collect the contact information, the very front of our funnel, irregardless of what type of lead magnet you decide to use. Now, there are a couple of key elements you want on your landing page. I'll go through this very briefly because this video is long enough, but I will link up in the cards and the description to a deeper dive video that goes through all the copywriting formulas you should be using on your landing page. And all your landing page needs to do is have a clear attention-grabbing headline, a couple of bullet points to create some interest, some social proof and desire. Don't worry, if you don't already have testimonials, I'll show you a way to do this without having to have testimonials, and of course, a clear call to action where people can actually enter their name and email, or just their email. Here's an example of what our landing page could look like, with a headline, a couple of bullet points, a picture of what the lead magnet is, and of course, a call to action. And with this basic format under our belt, again, link in the cards in the description to a video that goes through the copywriting. Let's go ahead and actually build the landing page. So I'm going to go ahead and put together the landing page you're looking at now. Yes, it's a very, very basic design, but these landing pages work because the copy and the way your lead magnet works, or the graphical representation here, is more important than being overly fancy. So you can see that this basic landing page has all of the 4 key elements of what's called the AIDA framework: attention, interest, and of course, desire and action. So let's go ahead, jump into MailerLite, and build our landing page. So again, link in the description to check out the free plan of MailerLite. So we'll come up here to Sites once you're inside MailerLite, and then we will click on create landing page. So on the free plan, you can create up to 5 landing pages. If you opt to pay $10 a month, you pretty much have unlimited. So we are on the $10 a month plus because we have quite a few emails in here. So we'll go ahead and create, and then we'll go ahead and give our landing page a name. I highly recommend choosing a name that's just descriptive of whatever your lead magnet is, and then using this name throughout the rest of your email marketing process. So we'll go ahead and click on save and continue here. And then we need to add a group. So when someone enters their name and email on our landing page, we want to tell MailerLite where to store that email, how to stay organized. You can see here we have a lot of groups, and we definitely need to clean them up. So we'll go ahead and click on add new group, and I'll give the group the exact same name I gave the landing page. That way I know this group is connected to this landing page and the lead magnet. So we'll go ahead and click on create here, and then we need to scroll down and select the group that we just created. So we want to make sure that we select the proper group so we don't start sending people to the wrong place. We'll go ahead and scroll down, click on save and continue. And after a little bit of loading, we will be able to scroll through all of the different templates that MailerLite has available to us. Now, when it comes to templates, I like starting from scratch. So I'll just go ahead and choose book and click on select. It's actually trending now. Used to be on the second one. I wonder if we did that. So let's go ahead and wait for the page to load, and then we will come up here to actions, and we will click on remove content. Of course, we have to type in remove just to tell MailerLite that yes, we do in fact want to delete everything because there's no undos here. So we'll go ahead and click on remove, and now we have a nice blank page where we can add the elements that we actually need. Now I am under settings right now, so I can scroll down here, and then I'm going to actually change the background. So the template that we've selected actually has a gray bar at the bottom. So all you need to do is come in here to body background and then change it to white. And that way we have the same color throughout the entire page. I know in previous tutorials, I totally forgot to mention that, and people had this awkward bar at the bottom and they didn't know how to get rid of it. So we'll go ahead and click on save, and then I'm going to change my default. Oh my gosh. I'm going to change my default font to Lotto. You can change it to whatever you want, but this way it will just save me some formatting time in the future, because the settings that we have here in terms of these defaults are going to apply to all the elements we add to the page. So now we'll come up here to blocks, and we'll go ahead and click or scroll up here and click on add text. So you can just click and drag over. And then the first thing I'm going to want to do is come up with my subheadline. So I'm going to jump over to a Word doc where I already have everything written out. I highly recommend you write all of your copy before you jump into your email autoresponder or creating your landing page. So I'll link up in the cards in the description to our sales funnel organizer, and it's the exact same template we use, just like this one, where we lay everything out and we do all of our copywriting. It includes some copywriting formulas as well to help you get started with your landing pages. So you can check that out in the description. I'm going to go ahead and copy the free channel audit, which is going to be my pre-headline, and then I will go ahead and paste it in here. And once it's been pasted, we're going to want to center it. So I'll go ahead and highlight everything. And once you do, you're going to have all of these text editing options. They aren't going to pop up until you highlight the text. So we'll click on this to align center, and then we will change the font size to 24, bring it up a little bit. And I like having things really tight in terms of spacing, so I can come over here and change the spacing so there's not so much space at the top. You can ignore this gray bar because that's just for the editor. It's not like you're going to have a gray bar at the top. So we can go ahead and click on save here, and then we can go back to our blocks, and we will click and drag over another text element for our headline. So I'll jump back over to my document or whatever document you're using. I will copy this, and then I will paste it in, and then let's go ahead and format some things. So you will go back and forth a lot in terms of text size and color, and that's completely normal. It'll take a while to find something that you think looks good for your brand and growing your email list. So we'll go ahead and highlight our text here so we can start editing it. And of course, the first thing we want to do is align center, and we will click out of it, and then we'll go ahead and click on this edit icon here, and again, change the spacing. Now I'm going to change the font style. So I'll click on heading here, and I will change the color to a red. So we can go ahead and click on more colors. We can drop in a custom color if we want. So you're not limited by the colors that are initially shown, although those colors work pretty well. And we'll go ahead and add in our custom color here. And once we are done, we can go ahead and click on X, and then we will change our font to a different style. I like having the headline a different style. Definitely have a maximum of 3 different types of fonts on your landing page. After that, it starts to look busy. So we'll go ahead and choose a different font for our headline, and then we'll go ahead and bump up the text to 58 and click on save. It looks really funny because I'm zoomed in right now. Once we see the full page, it's not going to look as bad. You definitely never want to hit enter on your headline though, because these pages are responsive. So if you hit enter, someone looks at it on a mobile device, it's going to look a little funny. So we'll go ahead and remove our spacing here, and then we can go ahead and click on save. Come back over to our content blocks, and now we're going to add an image and some content. And we can select on the edit, and we're going to remove these buttons. So we don't want buttons. So we'll go ahead and click on remove the buttons. We'll click on save. And now we want to add the image of our lead magnet. So when it comes to creating the image of your lead magnet, I'll link up in the cards in the description to a Canva video that walks you through how to use Canva to make an ebook. And inside of that tutorial, you'll learn how to make any type of lead magnet you want, including the cover image that we're using here that was created in Canva. So we'll go ahead and click on edit. I will click on browse, and we will select our image here, and it's just a PNG file with no background. We'll click on select, and we can save our changes. So now we need some bullet points that are going to go on the side of our lead magnet. So I'll jump back over to my sales funnel organizer or whatever document you decide to use. I will copy all this text, and then I will go ahead and paste it in here. Now, of course, we do want to do some formatting, so I'm going to highlight what you're going to get, or you could say what you're going to get, and I will change the font size here, so I'll bring it up a little bit to 30, and then I'll go ahead and center the text above the bullet points, and I can go ahead and start to highlight everything here and change the bullet point size as well. Again, I'm zoomed in, which is why everything looks really, really big. So we'll go ahead and click on save now, go out to blocks, and we're going to add another image and content block. So I'm going to add that below here, and of course we'll go ahead to edit it, and we will remove the buttons again, and then we will come up to our settings and we will change the spacing. So we're just making sure everything's nice and tight. We don't have a bunch of extra white space for no good reason. So now I'm going to add an image. So earlier in this tutorial, I talked about what do you do if you don't already have testimonials, you don't have media appearances, you don't have a bunch of trust seals. What can you do? Well, you can quote yourself, because after all, there's nothing against quoting yourself, and it allows you to add some credibility and trust to this page, because right now there's no face on it. So if someone comes to it, they want to join this email list, they don't know whose email list they're really joining. Oh my gosh. Hopefully they enjoy your emails. So we'll go and click on edit and browse. Since this is an example, I'm not going to click on myself. I'll just click on our example avatar here and go ahead and click on select. And of course, this is coming in kind of big, so we can go ahead and click and drag this down so it's not as big of a picture. And you see, we also have the ability to do that with our lead magnet image. So you can just click and drag this to make it larger or smaller. And we're going to align this right, and then we'll go ahead and click on save. So we're going to essentially quote ourselves. So I'll go back over to my sales funnel organizer. I will copy our quote. And all you really need to do with this quote is say something to the effect of, hey, we've had the same kind of problems you've had in the past, and I really think this lead magnet is going to help you achieve XYZ because it allowed us to overcome ABC. And that's pretty much all this text says. It's nothing super fancy in terms of copywriting. So we'll go ahead and copy that text in. And of course, we need to edit that text. So we're going to select our name and whatever our title is. And then we'll come over here and click on align right. and then we are good to go. Just one more thing. Of course, we need a call to action, right? We need people to actually enter their name and email. So we'll go ahead and select sign up form, and by default, it's going to look like this. If you start to add more fields, it starts stacking it automatically. So just keep that in mind. Here, we're just going to collect the email because we want to maximize our list growth and our signups. The more information you ask for, the harder it is to grow, or the lower your, well, it could be harder, but the lower your conversion rates are going to be. Please bear with me. I've been talking quite a bit here. So we'll go ahead and click on edit, and we'll go to form settings. I'm going to change the text to get access now. This can be download now. This can be learn more. This could be register now, whatever your lead magnet is. And of course, should make sense in the context of that. We'll go and click on settings, and we will remove the bottom spacing. And then we will come over to, we'll scroll down actually, and come over to our call to action button. And if you want to make the call to action button bigger, all you need to do is increase the text size, and it will make the call to action button larger. So we've gone ahead and increased the text size, and then we can also change the spacing and the corners of the button. So you'll see here when I change these settings, the button is a little more rounded now, whereas if I go back, it's more of a square. So of course you can change it to however you like the button. I like it a little rounded. And then we'll come up here to our hover, and we'll click on background color, and we'll click on green. So that way when a mouse hovers over a button, it's green, because green means go. Yes, it really is that basic. So choose whatever color you want. And now that our form is completed, when we come over here and hover over it, you'll see that it's green. So this is the hover color. Let's go ahead and change this input text size. So we'll bump it up to 18, and now it's a little larger, easier to read and more clear. And we'll go and click on save. So the last element that we want to add before I reorder a couple things here is some disclaimer text. Now, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't tell you what you should or should not have on your landing page in terms of disclaimer text. What I can say is most advertising platforms require you to have some sort of terms of service, privacy policy, and in some instances, a earnings and income disclaimer linked up on your landing page. So that's what this bottom text is for. So I'll just hop on over to my template. I'm just going to copy our blanket disclaimer text. Please do not copy this from other sites, because you will be contacted by a lawyer. So it's actually worse off if you copy someone else's as opposed to just not doing it, in my humble opinion. Again, I'm not giving you legal advice at all. Got to look this up for yourself. I wish I could say more. Then let's go ahead and edit this. So we'll change up the font size a little bit, make it smaller, line center, and that looks good enough. So we won't play too much with that. And of course, I want to change the spacing again, so we'll go ahead and click on edit, and then remove some of the bottom spacing so it's nice and flush with the bottom of the page. And then for the background, it is white, so we can go ahead and change the background to a gray color, although this isn't necessarily required, right? And I'll go ahead and hit on X, and then go ahead and click on save. And we actually do want to add a little bit of space here, even though we're about to move this element. So I'm going to click on edit, go to settings, up the bottom spacing a little bit, and then click on save. And now I'm going to zoom out, and we just want to move this form above the quote here. So we found that conversions are a little better if you have the call to action higher up on the page. That way no one has to scroll. Even if they're on a mobile device, they will have to scroll, but not as much. So I'll zoom out here, and you'll see that we just put the get access now right underneath the bullet points, and we have our personal quote or a couple of testimonials if you have some, and of course our disclaimer text at the bottom. So go ahead and hit that like button if you're getting some value. If you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. We do try and read and reply to every single one. And now we need to go ahead and make our success page. So I'll go and click on success page here and zoom back in. Actions, we're going to remove everything. I'm going to go a little faster now since I'm going to assume that you have a little more comfortability with this. So we'll go ahead and click on remove. We will remove. Then we will go to blocks here. We're going to add an image. And then of course we're going to edit this image, and we just want to put in an image of our lead magnet again. So I'll go ahead and select that. And then we'll need to come down here and drag it so it's not as huge, right? And then we'll come back over here to our blocks. Then we'll go ahead and click on save. We'll come back to our blocks, add some text, and we just want to say, hey, thank you for opting in. Make sure you check your email from, and then put it whatever the email is that you are sending the emails from, so they know who to look out for. So we'll go ahead and put in some text, check your email, and we'll highlight this text and change the font size, of course. So bring that font size up to 30. And then, of course, we're going to center things here. We're going to bold it. And then we will come over here to our font color and change it to red. So it's nice and easy to read. And then we can click on the plus button. So if you don't want to click and drag over, you can just click on the plus button, and we will add one more text element here. And this is where we're going to tell people the email to look out for. So this is going to be one of the emails that we use. So we'll go ahead and put it at 24. We will center it. Again, I'm going faster because I assume that you kind of got the hang of this, and we need to move on to the actual email automations here too. So everything is nice and centered, and that's all you need to do for your confirmation page. So this is the page that shows up after someone's entered their email, lets them know that it was successful, and they should check their email for the email from you with the lead magnet. So we can go back over to the landing page now, and everything is complete. If while you're going through this process, you want to preview how it's going to look on mobile, you can just come up here to preview, and then you can click on mobile, and you'll be able to see approximately what it's going to look like. And you can see that our headline and pre-headline has automatically formatted. In fact, I'd probably go back and change the pre-headline a little bit so it's not as big, but you can see that it easily translates onto a mobile screen. So we'll go ahead and click on save and update. Now you can change your favicon, and you can add a domain here if you'd like. I'll go ahead and skip that for now and come down to analytics and custom codes. Definitely put in your Google Analytics code, put in your Facebook Pixel ID. If you don't have one, then go ahead and set up a Google Analytics account, and start collecting that data. And of course, set up a Facebook ads account. Even if you don't plan on running Facebook ads, Facebook Audience Insights tool will give you quite a bit of great information as it collects that information for you. Although with some updates, the information is going to be not as great as it used to be. But hey, that's just how it works sometimes. And then I will link up in the cards and the description to a full-blown tutorial on Google Tag Manager, which will show you everything you need to know to track all of the data that you can. So we'll go and click on save and continue. We can copy our URL here, and then you can go ahead and see the page that we have just put together. And this is all there is to it to starting to grow your email list. So I know this was pretty lengthy, but simple pages like these are responsible for thousands upon thousands of new email signups for us and our lists, because you really don't have to be fancy. People really care about the lead magnet, and of course they care about the value of the emails that you're actually sending them. So we can go back to our diagram here, and I know we've gone through a lot and it's been quite a while. We'll speed things up a little bit. We have created the first part of your email marketing machine. We have our landing page, and it's collecting emails. We've created that confirmation page, and we're delivering that lead, but now we need to talk about how are we going to deliver the lead magnet, and that's going to be with a rapport sequence. So after someone enters their name and email, we want to have a 5 to 7 email sequence that, number one, delivers the lead magnet, because that's what your new email subscriber cares about the most. Whoops. And then number two, we want to start to build a foundation of rapport. And so what the sequence needs to do is empathize with their current experiences, energize them to take action to solve whatever problems or pain points are currently in their lives or in their way in the way of achieving the results that they're trying to achieve. And then of course, expand on the dangers of inaction, because sometimes getting people to take action to solve a particular problem is a great way to do that is pointing out what happens if they don't actually take action now. Of course, we can go through all the different ways you could put together the sequence. This has been the most effective that we found, especially when you're just getting started. So we'll start off with 5 emails. The very first email, you're simply going to deliver the lead magnet, reinforce their decision to. Now, if you have any sort of product, service, or offer, you're going to want to drive people to that product, service, or offer, or drive them to some sort of sales message in your email sequence. And what's most important with these first 5 to 7 emails is there's no hard selling. This is an absolute critical time in your list growth, because this is when people are going to evaluate the value of what you're providing in your emails. If you start off by saying, hey, buy my course, it's $500 off, and you send 3 or 4 emails that essentially say the same thing, people are going to be conditioned to not want to open your emails. And so this particular sequence is specifically designed to help you build some rapport, of course, and also seed the value of whatever your offers are. And you're going to want to do this through story. Now, if you don't care about how to write the emails, you can go ahead and jump to this timestamp where we jump back into MailerLite and we actually start putting together your email automation. So the email number 2 is going to talk about a big roadblock that they face. And then email number 3 will talk about a hero story of results. So essentially what you're doing is you want to look at whatever your product or service is and make a list of the results it helps them achieve and the roadblocks it helps them overcome. Choose a roadblock and write an email that talks about how they can start to overcome that roadblock. And then the second email, choose a experience out of your own life or one of your clients or customers' lives where they were able to achieve a result that your email subscribers want to actually achieve. Now, don't worry, because we're going to go through how to actually put together these emails in a moment. And then the last 2 emails, you simply want to talk about some of the benefits that your product or service offers them and how it's actually going to help them achieve the results that they're looking for and overcome roadblocks. So here with all these emails, you want to be empathizing with their situation by talking about the roadblocks that they're dealing with, and then you want to energize them to take action through the description and talking about the different results that are just around the corner if they just start to take some action. Now, when it comes to writing emails, it could be a video 3 times as long as this one, believe it or not. So what you want to do with your subject and your preview line, and that's the little line of text that shows up as a preview, is you want to build curiosity. The goal is to get people to open the email. And then you want to start off your email with a compelling reason to keep reading. And using a story is a great strategy for emails. I recommend using stories with all of your emails in the sequence if you can, whether it's about you, whether it's about someone who's known in your niche or industry and you're just chronicling how they were able to overcome roadblocks, or you're talking about a client. You don't have to use the client's name. You can simply say in the email that you've changed the client's name for privacy reasons. But what's most important is whatever story you're using to illustrate a point is that the story is actually true. And then in the PS section at the very end of the email, you can have a call to action to say, hey, if you want to learn more, go ahead and check out my video here. And if it's a video sales letter, you could say, hey, go ahead and check out my video here if it's a video sales letter. Or you can be sending people directly to a checkout page if you don't have some sort of sales mechanism. And of course, this would be a call to action if you're trying to get people on a phone for some sort of strategy call or sales call. So now let's jump into MailerLite and actually build out this automation. It's very simple. And again, with MailerLite's free plan, you can actually set this up. So almost everything we're doing here, you can do with the free plan. And I say almost because when it comes to custom domains, you have to have the $10 a month one. So I did mention that. So going back to our diagram here, we have our landing page, we have the confirmation page, and we need to set up this sequence to deliver that lead magnet and of course, send out our rapport building sequence. Let's jump back into MailerLite. So I'll come up here to automations and then click on create workflow, and then give the workflow the exact same name you gave the group and the same name you gave the landing page. That way you stay organized. I think we have almost 7 or 8 different ones in our account and it's already getting confusing. So we'll go ahead and click on select here when subscriber joins a group. And then we can select F10 YouTube Growth Blueprint. So when someone enters their name and email, MailerLite knows to add them to that group. And when they're added to the group, this automation starts. So you can see how it kind of leapfrogs over. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and click on save here. And we will add our first automation, which is going to be delivering that lead magnet. So coming back to our diagram here, you can be using MailerLite. I have ConvertKit on here as well because ConvertKit and Aweber allow you to pretty much do the same thing. Although ConvertKit doesn't allow you to send automatic emails on the free plan, which is why we're talking about MailerLite. Okay, I digress. So here's what we need to do. We need to set up a trigger to start the automation, which we've already done. And now we need to send an email with the lead magnet. So if I keep repeating myself, I do apologize. I just want to make sure that nothing is left unturned here. So we'll go ahead and click on email. And now what we're telling them to do, what we're telling them MailerLite to do, is when they join the group, which is the same group as our landing page, we're going to send this email out immediately. You don't want any delay. Send it out right now. So we'll go ahead and click on the subject line to give it a subject line. Here's your playbook. Here's your template. Here's your blueprint. Here's your special training, or here's your audit. And we'll go ahead and click on design email. I am a huge fan of plain text emails. I know there's a lot of debate as to which one's better, but just go with plain text because you want to be emailing people like you're a real person, because you are a real person. You're not a giant nameless corporation, at least not yet, unless that's what you're trying to go for. Then by all means, do the other one. So we'll go ahead and click on choose here. Choose. Okay. We chose the legacy one. And then go ahead and paste in your emails. Again, please use either our sales funnel organizer, link in the description, or your own documentation. You definitely do not want to be brainstorming your email through this interface. We'll go ahead and click on the settings here so you can change the font size and, of course, the font style. I'll go ahead and leave it alone for now, and we'll go ahead and click on Done Editing. And now what we've done is we have completed steps 1 through 3, and now it's time 4 and 5. We're going to repeat those a couple times for our automated emails. So we'll come back over to our automation here. We'll click on plus, and then we will select delay. Now we want to select delay so we don't send out all 5 or 7 emails on the same day, right? So we'll go ahead and click on delay here. And then once we do, we'll go ahead and set the delay to 1 day. I do apologize. My editing was messed up here. And then we'll go ahead and click on save. Now, once you do, you're going to want to add an email to this sequence. So we'll go ahead and click on save, and we have 1 day delay. So we'll click the plus button and we will click on email. And of course, we'll go ahead and give our email a subject line, and then that will be our email number 2. So you're going to want to do this anywhere from 4 to 5 more times. Delay, email, delay, email, delay, email. And that way you have this nice automated sequence that automatically goes out when someone enters their name and email, they receive the lead magnet, and then they get 4 to another couple of emails that talk about whatever your product or service is, using that sequence we talked about earlier with your using story as a way to really seed the benefits of whatever you're offering. So once you've done that, you're ready for your evergreen sequence. If you're still watching, go ahead and hit that like button. You are a champion. So going back to our diagram here, we now need to add one more set of automations here, and that is copying the people who are in this automation over to our main email list so that they can receive our broadcast emails. So we'll jump back over to MailerLite, and we will click on the plus button again. I'm going to assume you've done a couple emails already. And this time we are going to add a delay because we want to make sure that we have a nice little buffer in between when someone ends a sequence and they start receiving your normal emails, because we don't want 2 emails on the same day. That's what we're trying to avoid here. And we'll go ahead and click on wait 1 day, and then we can click on save. And one more time, we'll click on the plus button, and this time we will click on action. So action, we will select and then copy to group. And then we will do our list of drop downs, and you should just make a group of everyone on your email list who's not currently going through an automation. For us, that's just Aspire Entrepreneur, and we'll go ahead and click on save, and then we can go ahead and turn on our automation. So what we've done here in this last step is we've copied people from our current automation. Once it's ended, we've given them a day of rest where they don't receive any emails. Then we copy them over to our broadcast list. And on your broadcast list, that's where you're going to do content updates. You will do one-time promotions and just general sequences that are going out to everyone. And you're just going to choose how often people receive emails. But the point is, with your broadcast list, you want to have people who aren't going through an automation, because you don't want to be sending some sort of promotion to your broadcast list while they're going through this email sequence that might be selling something else. And so by copying them over, number one, you keep everyone who's already gone through this sequence, you keep them in a list so you know for the future. And then number two, you make sure that they are completely siloed off from whatever else you're doing with everyone else on your email list. You want them to go through this process. Whether they buy or not, doesn't matter. Then you move them over to your broadcast list. And so that is all there is to it, to setting up your email marketing machine. And of course, it is 100% automated thanks to MailerLite. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dive marketing guides and click-by-click tutorials to get your online business up and running just like this one, and ones that are a whole lot shorter. So until the next, keep building the business you love.